Oh, hello, beautiful YouTubers. Welcome to Vermont Sun and Shade. So, thank you for having a cup of coffee with me today. I actually have hazelnut, and it is New England brand. If you're interested, if you're a coffee lover, this is not an advertisement, but this is so good. And I've had a number of other hazelnut and I don't really like the taste, but this is perfect right on. So if you like coffee and you want something a little different, their blueberry isn't too bad either. But give yourself a special treat. Make a cup of coffee, sit out in the sun, enjoy Vermont, or if you're not in Vermont, wherever you are. And I welcome everybody. Everybody, if you're going, if you're just interested in Vermont and what's going on here, you're passing through, um, or if you're here and you've been here forever, or if you are recently here. I welcome everybody to this channel. I'm so happy to have you here. And anyway, and I love your comments and I love your questions. So I got the idea. I was covering, just to give you a little bit of a background here, Vermont Sun and Shade, it's kind of a metaphor for like Vermont sun, everything wonderful, and then Vermont shade, some of the things that aren't that great. And I'm still going to cover some of those things, but not to the extent that I started to, because people, I think, are more looking for the nature of Vermont, the topography, the geographics, the environment. And, my other channel, Echo Art with Carmela T, I emphasize and I talk about and I live by, like you can see this piece back here. This is all scrap fabrics, but it's a quilt. And it's what they call visible stitching, sashiko stitching. So I'm inspired by other cultures. I think that it's such a wonderful, beautiful thing to share your knowledge on what you learned either from your heritage or what you've learned, from just your life experience. I think it's just wonderful to share. I think that's what it's all about. And we inspire each other. And then other people find ways to do things differently their own way. So anyway, with that, all that said, today I wanted to talk a little bit about bears in Vermont. So, I know that our bear is the black bear. That's the Vermont bear. But I did a little recent digging. I just wanted to see if we had any other type of bears, and we really don't. To date, it's just been the Vermont black bear. Now, the black bear is the smaller of bears. And however, with that being said, don't misunderstand me that they're small. I mean, their paws are absolutely humongous. Probably over 20 years ago now, I was driving up the highway and there was a bear that was seemingly, unalive. You can't say the word here on YouTube, but it was unalive on the side of the highway. So I stopped to check it out and lo and behold, it was still breathing, but it was absolutely in its last stages. But its paws were probably as wide as my shoulder. I mean, they were wide. They were huge, and it was definitely an adult bear. But it looks like it had gotten it, hit on the highway, and it was not reported. So I called the game warden, and he came out, and then I left. That was more towards southern Vermont, and I'm up here in northern Vermont, but that was southern. That was more southern Vermont. Anyway, with all of that said, what I wanted to do was just first, by courtesy of this Vermont Public, an article by Samatha Watson, I just want to share with you quickly. This is what the black bear looks like if you're not familiar, if you're just new to Vermont, you're coming up, or you're passing through, or you're attending some event. This is what the black bear looks like. Now, this article is all about people who put composting out in their backyards. Now, I got to tell you, I feel that it's so important to grasp all that we can to make a difference in our environment. So the composting is super important. Now, some people who have been doing it a while might already know about that they have barrels or containers, let's say, that are, they consider them to be bear proof, that you can put your compost in. And if you're an experienced composter, you know not to put any type of meat or bones or stuff like that in the compost. However, there are many people who they like to have the compost out, maybe by their gardens and, out in their yard and maybe their field or wherever they are. So they advise a couple things here to put to deter the bears. And the reason I'm really emphasizing this is because in the article they're emphasizing that there's been a lot of bear sightings up close around the houses. Now, this for me doesn't surprise me because especially here in Vermont, I've seen field after field disappear with construction of buildings and businesses, and it just breaks my heart. Some of you have heard the story already from me that we had a great blue heron here. He used to go hunting up here in the Finney Field. He had one last section of that field over there to go hunting. And they took it and they put a hotel up over there. And I remember the very day, and I wish I got out and took a picture, but I did not want to scare him. He was standing there and he had one of his legs up and he was just looking at all the equipment that was now in his hunting area. And I know that great blue because he comes over here in my backyard. So this is so concerning, right? But so I totally encourage that we do as much as we can to help the environment. So composting is one way. So in the article, Samatha Watson by the Vermont Public is emphasizing or encouraging people to turn your compost regularly, but add wood chips. Add wood chips and sticks and leaves and stuff like that. So that kind of curves the smell of, let's say you have cherries or, fruit, watermelon, stuff like that, rind and stuff like that thrown in the compost. So it would deter it a little bit from the bear, and the bear won't look. But I do believe the bears are coming up closer to the homes because their food sources have been disappearing, and not just a little by little, like at an alarming rate. I'm shocked. In the past 8 years, I've been in this one spot, 8.5 years. I have seen the entire field go, and then another field up over the way starting to go over at near Walmart. And then they have apparently some plans of another field behind Hannaford. So, this is concerning because our wildlife need to be, where are you pushing them to? I'm not sure, because they all have their territories and areas. So with that said, this is the black bear, and, I highly advise not to approach. I have some of my friends, oh gosh, I've had a few friends actually approach baby bear, black bear cubs, and I would not do that. They were just very, very lucky. You will many times see the bears on the trails because it's easy for them to walk the trail too. I don't know, but they do. That you'll see them on the trails. So anyway, with that, I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll be talking to you soon.